that we have a lot of work to do.
Tonight in the Spotlight, how the anniversary of a dark day in Duluth's history is being used to bring current issues to the forefront. And Washington weighs in. Lawmakers take swift action in introducing new bills aimed at reforming police departments nationwide. But first, sparking conversations. Duluth's own police chief is seeking to be as transparent as possible about the department's use of force policy, why some say more needs to be done.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anthony Mack. Kristen is off tonight. Thanks for joining us. Across the nation, people are questioning how police respond to calls, especially involving people of color. Today, Duluth Police Chief Mike Tuscan addressed the community, reminding them of the department's policies, including their policy involving use of force. This address is intended to spark further conversation within the community on policing. CBS 3's John Cardinelli reports.
The death of George Floyd has sparked a call for justice for Black Lives Lost.
I can go jogging, Ahmaud Arbery. I can sleep, Breonna Taylor.
Those cases prompting an outcry and calls to change how policing is handled when it comes to people of color.
Transparency is one of our core values in our organization.
During a virtual press conference Monday, Duluth Police Chief Mike Tuscan said the department has a number of policies in place when it comes to not allowing use of force.
As the mayor said, we banned strangleholds or chokeholds. We have not done that since I have been in this organization.
Tuscan said the department has trained its officers to first use de-escalation tactics before resorting to use of force. All use of force incidents are documented.
It is reported into a database. With that database, we can look at officers who use more force or less force, what types of force, what is the most common types of force. And so we're able to take all that data and take a look at it to see what are our trends.
But the chair of the Citizen Review Board, an advisory body for the police department, says while they have worked with the department in the past to help resolve issues, there's still problems.
Me as a person of color, and many times need police, but sometimes I fear that when they show up to calls, it's more about who made the call and what they're trying to do to arrest people than what they're actually calling for.
While the community is rejecting the police department in Minneapolis, Chief Tuscan says he doesn't expect that to happen in Duluth.
If you have concerns with policies within the Duluth Police Department, you are asked to contact the CRB with your concerns. That information is on our website, cbs3duluth.com. Meanwhile, the majority of Minneapolis City Council members say they approve of disbanding the city's police department in favor of a new system of public safety. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz weighed in on the matter today.
I do support the changes the communities are asking for because it's not working now.
Meanwhile, 8th District Congressman and former Duluth police officer Pete Stauber is weighing in on defunding police departments as well. In a tweet, the Republican said in part, quote, defunding the police makes absolutely no sense, saying we need to work together on policies to improve department practices. We'll have more on the conversation later in the show. In the meantime, a judge has increased bail to $1 million for the former Minneapolis police officer charged with second-degree murder in George Floyd's death. Derek Chauvin said almost nothing during an 11-minute hearing today. He appeared on closed-circuit TV from the state's maximum security prison in Oak Park Heights. His attorney did not challenge the bail amount, which is now higher than the $500,000 initially set in the case. Chauvin's next appearance is set for June 29th. Meanwhile, Floyd will be laid to rest in Houston tomorrow. His service starts at 11, which we will carry live and in its entirety right here on CBS 3. All right, Dave joins us for a quick look at the weather. Dave, you're tracking some storms out there tonight, huh?
Yeah, and for our region, they're staying out of the area. They're more towards northwestern Minnesota, but our turn could come by tomorrow night. Right now, we're looking at a severe thunderstorm watch indeed for northwestern Minnesota, including Beltrami and Lake of the Woods counties. There's still a slight chance some of that storm activity could creep into Koochiching County tonight and strike places like International Falls. But again, that chance is very slight. That's because we have a low-pressure system coming in from the northwest, but it's being backed up by a potential or a fading tropical storm from the south. The two put the squeeze on our region tomorrow and bring us a decent chance for rain. So we start in the day with perhaps a partly cloudy sky, but then clouds thicken. And by the time you get into late afternoon tomorrow, 40% rain chance starts. And once it starts, it could come down by the bucketful Well, we'll talk about rain totals through Wednesday coming up in just a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. There was an emotional moment on Capitol Hill today as congressional Democrats introduced a sweeping new bill aimed at rooting out racial bias in policing. Here's CBS's Nancy Cordes.
With African kente scarves around their shoulders and millions of new allies at their backs, the Congressional Black Caucus took a knee today and then laid out their bill.
We're here because Black Americans want to stop being killed.
The Justice in Policing Act would make it easier to prosecute officers for brutality, track police misconduct with a new national registry, and set new standards for training and use of force.
The chokehold is a procedure that is unnecessary, unacceptable, uncivilized, unconscionable, and un-American. This legislation will make it unlawful.
Many of the initiatives have been introduced before, after the deaths of Eric Garner, Sandra Bland, and Tamir Rice.
Sometimes it takes a long time for things to change.
California's Karen Bass chairs the Black Caucus.
This bill asks a lot of police departments.
Yes.
But doesn't give them any new money.
It doesn't give them new money, but it repurposes existing money.
Reducing legal immunity for police officers won't be easy. The White House called it a non-starter today. Attorney General William Barr explained why on Face the Nation.
Because that would result certainly in police pulling back.
Tonight, several Republicans and the White House say they are working on policing bills too, but they have not given many specifics. Democrats are going to try to pass their bill in the House in the next couple weeks and pressure the Republican-led Senate to take it up. New at 10, the Duluth City Council has selected their newest member. Therese Tomanek will now fill the remainder of Barb Russ's term. Tomanek was approved with an 8-0 vote on the first ballot. Coming into today, there were still 3 candidates left of the 19 that applied, but Jennifer Voss and Jules Rude dropped out this morning. Tomanek will serve on the council until 2022. It was 100 years ago this week that Elias Clayton, Elmer Jackson, and Isaac McGee, 3 African-American men, were lynched on the streets of downtown Duluth. At the memorial for those men, there have been big plans for remembrance ceremonies, including a 10,000-person march. That changed with the COVID-19 pandemic, leading to smaller events like one that happened today. CBS 3's Ryan Campo was there.
After painting all day Monday, there are now 3 murals taking up the intersection of 2nd Avenue East and 1st Street in downtown Duluth. They feature George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and a fist in the air, all created by local community members.
We still have systemic and structural racism. We still have a major racism alive today. And so we need to make sure that we acknowledge and recognize that we have a lot of work to do.
Organizers say it's also a way to remember Clayton, Jackson, and McGee and the historical narratives continuing to impact people of color.
If George Floyd wasn't killed, we probably would just be doing virtual events all through. We would not be here today painting the mural of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. So COVID-19 is a pandemic, but racism is a deeper pandemic that we need to face as well.
At the end of the day, Stefan Witherspoon, president of Duluth NAACP, says it's about everyone coming together as one.
You know, white allies that stand up against injustice against African American people and other conditions, LGBTQ. But this is not just for show. You know, this is a charge. We take action, and we need our allies to stand up and fight with us and for us.
Organizers say the murals will be displayed on the fence at the Clayton Jackson McGee Memorial. A Twin Cities man was taken to the hospital after crashing his motorcycle into a tree in Bayfield County. It happened around 6:45 Saturday night on County Highway M in Namacoggin Township. Authorities say the driver, Michael Wren of Bloomington, went off the road and struck a tree. The 50-year-old was flown to a Duluth hospital with a head injury. His condition is unknown and the crash is under investigation. Meanwhile, 3 teens were taken to the Ashland Hospital after the car they were in hit a tree. It happened around 6:50 last night in Washburn Township. Authorities say a 16-year-old was driving when they went off the road and hit a tree. The teens' injuries ranged from serious to minor. Their exact conditions are unknown, and the crash is under investigation. A heads up to drivers in downtown Duluth. Part of the 300 block of West 1st Street will be closed from 6:30 to 10:30 tomorrow morning. Crews will be replacing an underground transformer. The eastern half of the block will have two-way traffic, and the sidewalk in front of the CenturyLink building will be closed. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3 Life on the Front Lines, we introduce you to one of our own who witnessed this scene unfold in Minneapolis.
Today's high over the hill, 81 degrees in Duluth, much cooler by the lake, and even warmer than 81 into northwestern Wisconsin. 90s cracked there. A hair cooler tomorrow, but a bit cloudier too, and perhaps a lot rainier. We'll talk about how much coming up after our break.
Live, local, CBS 3 News at 10 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS 3.
I'm Dr. Carolyn Phelps, licensed psychologist. In the wake of this pandemic, many of us are feeling overchallenged and overwhelmed. If you or someone you care about is struggling with anxiety, depression, or any other mental health problem, please know this: getting help matters. Mental health care is essential care, and it's still available. Simply contact a local mental health care provider yourself or ask someone you trust whom they'd recommend. Now more than ever, reach out for help.
At UCare, we've been decomplicating Medicare plans in Minnesota for a long time. In fact, we've been offering Medicare Advantage plans longer than anyone else. Our Medicare Advantage plans are affordable, and 96% of Minnesota providers accept UCare. So if your provider practices at any of these clinics or hospitals, you can likely keep them. To learn the basics and see how UCare Medicare Advantage plans compare to others, visit ucare.org/TV.
At Denny's Lawn and Garden.
We dance for healing. We dance for one another. For connection. In ways like no other. Together. Or even apart. We are resilient. The 2020 census is here, and we need to do our part for our people.
Seeing the joy that people feel when they share a meal with family and friends, that's why we do this. The laughter of kids around the table, the thrill of families driving through for a treat, the delight of not having to cook, and instead letting us safely serve you. It all comes back to taking care of each other. And for that, we'll be here with your favorites, and always a smile.
Now, the CBS 3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
All right, let's wrap up today's high temperatures, because if you live right by the lake, you wondered what the big deal was. 52 the top temp on Park Point. 60 in Superior, that's not much better, but take a look at Hibbing, 84 degrees. Swing into Wisconsin, 92 in Hayward, 93 in Ashland, 90 degrees for Ironwood. Warm spell is here. It'll still be here tomorrow, but not quite that warm. I don't think we're going to push 90 any place, but still inland, the 80s are possible with a thin sliver of cooler by the lake, offering people respite on both sides of the shore. But where it's warm, it'll be humid as well, and that humidity and that lift from the heat could translate into some pretty decent thunderstorms and rains tomorrow night into Wednesday, as a cold front from the west cuts into Gulf moisture coming up from the south. It's a good recipe for maybe not the perfect storm, but a doozy of one. Current conditions at the airport: 63 for the current temp, 75% for the relative humidity, east-southeast winds going 10 miles per hour. And current temperatures, well, we've dipped to 67 in Watersmeet, but still 79 Ironwood. Ashland's at 57, cooler by the lake coming there. 75 Hayward and Solon Springs, still warm there. 51 Superior, 63 in Proctor, 64 Moose Lake. That's our cooler zone up the North Shore as well. And then you take a look inland. It's still 77 in Ely. That's a bit uncomfortable. 74 Hibbing, 74 International Falls, and 77 Grand Rapids. Pretty warm right now, but again, keep in mind that heat energy and the latent heat energy stored with water vapor, all combining with that lifting mechanism of the cold front tomorrow, could create some pretty interesting thunderstorms. Right now, we're getting some thunderstorms from the lead element of that western low going through Lake of the Woods County and maybe just grazing Koochiching County. Again, slight chance places like International Falls could get some of this activity tonight, but the better chance comes around tomorrow, again, as the remnants of Cristobal come up our way with plenty of moisture, and then there's that cold front from the regular low pressure system coming through to lift it up where temperature and dew point can come together and create clouds and precip. And precip, well, could look like this as we go through Tuesday. By almost midnight tomorrow night, Minnesota towns could go anywhere from 1/10 of an inch by the North Shore to perhaps 1/3 or so farther inland, and maybe a trace to 1/4 inch for Wisconsin. Then it gets even rainier into Wednesday, and into northern Wisconsin and northern Michigan could be 2 to 3 inches of rain altogether, and about 1 inch to maybe even 2 inches for many Minnesota towns. So on the bright side, that should end our fire danger problem, but on the downside, it may lead to some flooding problems. Minnesota tonight, low temps 50s and 60s, could be muggy. Wisconsin, low temps 50s and 60s, indeed could be muggy. Clouds increase tomorrow, Wisconsin, Michigan, high 70 to 87. 60% shower and storm chance comes your way in the afternoon. 40% shot for Minnesotans with highs 70s and 80s inland, 60s by the lake. With our 7-day forecast here, the 40% storm chance Tuesday turns into a 90% chance for that soaking rain on Wednesday. Then temperatures dial down, Tony. The cloud cover kills high temperatures, drops them into the 60s through Saturday, even though sunshine will start returning, perhaps by Thursday afternoon. Then it stays a bit cool for the rest of the 7-day period.
Thanks, Dave. At the end of May, riots and looting gripped Minneapolis, with the governor calling on the Minnesota National Guard to step up and protect businesses and lives. Tonight, we're hearing from one of those National Guard members who just returned to Duluth from Minneapolis. CBS 3's Jesse Slater has the story.
My platoon sergeant came into our barracks and said, "Pack your stuff. We've just been put on standby to go to Minneapolis."
In a matter of a week, Chance Fortune went from his job as a CBS3 Duluth news producer to regularly scheduled training at Camp Ripley as a Minnesota National Guard sergeant in the thick of riots in Minneapolis.
Disbelief. I was honestly shocked that it had gotten to the point where they needed to activate the entire National Guard.
In Fortune's 10 years with the National Guard, it was only his second time being deployed on a state active duty mission.
There was a lot of scrambling. Everybody was moving around pretty fast because there was a lot of uncertainty. Nobody really knew what was going on.
When his unit arrived in Minneapolis, the sight was shocking.
It didn't look like a city in the United States. It looked something similar to a war zone.
He says days of rioting and looting made parts of Minneapolis nearly unrecognizable.
I saw a lot of buildings burned to the ground. The smell of tear gas was still pretty prevalent in the air, along with the smell of smoldering brick. Cars incinerated.
The sergeant says he was on the front lines of protests and experienced mixed feelings from demonstrators as the troops arrived.
I think some of the protesters believed that the National Guard was activated to disrupt or break up their protests. That wasn't the case. We were there to protect lives, property, and people.
Once protesters got a better understanding as to why National Guard members were on site, Fortune says their moods changed, and for the most part, everything remained peaceful.
We are here to protect our state, to protect our state's people, and, you know, we live to serve Minnesota.
Sergeant Fortune says his unit was the first to leave Minneapolis as troops were being called back. He was there from May 30th to June 2nd. He added protests began to shift from violent to peaceful within that time frame. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, how the Duluth School District is making sure students stay fed over the summer.
CBS 3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Slumberland's huge clearance event. Massive markdowns all over. Closeouts, floor samples, one-of-a-kind items. Plus, get totally free doorstep shipping. Hurry into our huge clearance event and save. Only at Slumberland Furniture.
Whether you're working in the garage or the garden, Fleet Farm has what you need. This week, save big on things like Valvoline Full Synthetic Motor Oil, just $15.99 after rebate. Select Under Armour apparel, 40% off our low fleet price. Select Pepsi 6-packs, 4 for $10. And Diamond Large Bag Dog Food, $3 off. Plus, don't forget Dad. Fleet Farm gift cards make the perfect gift for Father's Day. No matter the job, we've got you covered. Fleet Farm, built for real life.
At Super One Foods, you'll find more than just low prices and better choices. You'll find friendly faces like ours, working hard to save you money.
Super One has a tireless commitment to quality and freshness and a goal of delivering 5-star service to every customer to bring the absolute best value to your shopping experience. Check out these specials available at all Super One locations going on now.
So stop into the Super One Foods right in your neighborhood. Super One Foods, serving you with low prices and better choices.
Come run with Duncan, because we run on people and pride, career opportunities and community, staying focused on safety and staying connected. Hours that work for you and local owners that work with you. Education perks and people perks. Happy crew making happy customers and team members that are more like family members. Duncan runs on you. Come run with us. Visit DunkinDonuts.com/careers for opportunities at participating franchise locations or apply in store.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez, on CBS3.
Bonjour and Dinaway Maganadug. Hello, all my relatives. I'm Dr. Arnie Vinio, and I live in Duluth, and I love Duluth and the surrounding communities. Keeping COVID-19 from spreading is going to depend on all of us. Washing our hands frequently, keeping social distance, staying home if you can, and wearing a face mask is important. We need to keep our elders and those most vulnerable safe. This is about respect. This is about love.
Slumberland's huge mattress clearance event. Crazy markdowns on all kinds of mattresses, like a Sealy Queen mattress as low as $149. Plus, overstocks, closeouts, floor samples. Hurry to Slumberland's clearance mattress event. Don't miss out.
Summer is here with Crestliner at Ray's Sport and Marine.
Classic Rock KQ is once again the Northland's #1 radio station. The KQ Morning Show, the most listened to radio program in the Northland. The KQ Train Wreck, the Northland's #1 afternoon show. Thank you for making us the Northland's #1 radio station. 95 KQDS.
Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on live local CBS3 Duluth.
School may be out for the summer, but the Duluth School District is still making sure no students go hungry. The district will hand out free breakfast and lunches throughout the summer. Lower MacArthur Elementary School is one of 8 pickup sites. A school bus will also make daily deliveries in several other neighborhoods. The school district started distributing free meals during the pandemic to make sure students who counted on it during the school year would not go hungry. Some days they handed out 200 bags. Volunteer Mark Talbot knows these are challenging times for everyone, and he knows it goes a long way.
Some of these parents, they're at home and they don't have a job presently because of the COVID going on, and it gives them an alternative to be able to come get 2 stable meals, at least for the kids, and then the parents have less to worry about.
Any Duluth School District students are eligible. The meals will be handed out every day from 11 a.m. through 12:30. You can check out our website for pickup locations. Meanwhile, as you look to get outside in this nice June weather, a reminder that the tunnel at Ely's Peak is still closed. Crews are in the process of removing any loose or dangerous rocks near the tunnel at Ely's Peak. No word on exactly when it will reopen. Coming up in sports, will we see Dalvin Cook on the field for the Vikings this fall? Kelly Hinseth answers that question coming up next.
Watch Dave, Caitlin, and Austin for local weather you can trust on CBS.
Years fly by. Your retirement date keeps getting closer. Rather than spending another year worrying about retirement, get a second opinion on your financial strategy. Let us answer your questions and show you how tax reduction strategies can benefit your retirement. Go to MPPLFinancial.com to download our free tax reduction checklist. Then call MPPL Financial this week for a complimentary second opinion consultation. A second opinion could be your best 2020 financial investment.
I don't know how we would have survived without Mediacom. We have 5 kids, and we have Mediacom for all of our internet and all of our cable services. So I'm stuck in my house but at the same time, I'm connected to people all over the world. It's been fantastic.
Right now, we all feel like the world is in a standstill. The internet has played a huge role in allowing us to stay connected to our jobs and stay connected with the ones that we love. We couldn't do it without MediaCom.
We dance for healing. We dance for one another. For connection. In ways like no other. Together. Or even apart. We are resilient. The 2020 census is here, and we need to do our part for our people.
Be smart. Be active. Be confident. Vision Pro Optical is here for you, specializing in eye exams, glasses, contacts, and billing your insurance. Serving the Northland for more than 30 years with you as our focus. Visit visionprooptical.com for hours and location details. Vision Pro Optical. Be and be seen.
Come run with Duncan, because we run on people and pride, career opportunities, and community. Staying focused on safety and staying connected. Hours that work for you and local owners that work with you. Education perks and people perks. Happy crew making happy customers and team members that are more like family members. Duncan runs on you. Come run with us. Visit DunkinDonuts.com/careers for opportunities at participating franchise locations or apply in store.
When breaking news happened in your neighborhood, CBS3 was there.
They came out to stand up against racial inequality and demand that more is done. Now, there are protesters on both sides, both northbound and southbound I-35.
Duluth Police Department forced to make arrests and deploy tear gas as protests began to get out of hand in the early morning hours.
We're interrupting your normal programming this evening to hear from Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
For coverage that matters most to you, tune to CBS3. Now, CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
It has become a bit of a trend in the NFL for big name, big production running backs to hold out for a big payday to match. Well, now Minnesota will be confronted with that issue. Vikings Pro Bowl running back Dalvin Cook is planning to hold out from any team-related activities until he receives a, quote, reasonable deal. That is according to a report from ESPN's Adam Schefter. The report also says that without a reasonable extension, Cook would not show up for training camp or beyond. Schefter also reports that the two sides have not communicated since last week, and no further talks have been scheduled. Cook is entering the last season of his rookie contract and is set to make just $1.3 million this season. If the deal is not reached, he will become an unrestricted free agent next year. To be continued. Minnesota Department of Health guidelines allowed for youth sports activities to begin on a limited basis starting on June 1st. Now, a week into June, facilities have begun to open their doors. Today was opening day for several Twin Ports area ice rinks, including the Essentia Heritage Sports Center in Duluth. Players will be required to stay in pods of 10 or less while on the ice and be limited to contactless drills. Parents are asked to be punctual when taking their kids to and from practice facilities and for participants to avoid congregating in common lobby areas. Mars Lakeview Arena along with Hermantown Hockey Arena were also open today. The St. Luke Sports and Event Center in Proctor is set to open on July 6th. No official word from Northwoods Credit Union Arena in Cloquet or Westman Arena in Superior. It's back for another year. That would be the Twin Ports Pro Development Camp. It's a chance for young hockey players to learn from the pros and develop their hockey skills this summer. The camp is taught by 5 guys with Northland connections, all with experience playing at the professional level. The camp gives skaters the unique opportunity to experience a schedule that is similar to the pros themselves in their training and development camps. Brett Olson, the camp founder, was patiently awaiting for the go-ahead. He's excited to host an in-person camp with safety restrictions amongst the COVID-19 pandemic and hopefully whip those players back into shape.
Last week was when we opened registration, so luckily we've had some numbers trickling in. I think that parents have been waiting for these opportunities to open up for the summer. So Fortunately, that's something that is probably a benefit for a lot of sports and recreation activities around the Northland. We think it's a great opportunity for the kids and obviously the parents as well, but it's a great opportunity for us too, because we've all been in the same situation. And I think if you talk to any one of our staff members that we have come in each year, all the guys that are playing and people involved, we really enjoy doing this camp every year. And it's definitely something we look forward to as well.
And the camp includes guys coming back to coach for yet another year. The idea of coaching the next generation of hockey players in the Northland is something that just never gets old.
Kids growing up, they want to play college hockey, and we've all had guys. I mean, Brett played at Michigan Tech, and then we had Sislo who played at UNH. Me and Andy both played at University of Duluth. So like a lot of these kids look at that, and they want to get to that level. So it's been an honor for us to try and help them achieve that. And, you know, summer camps are just right around the corner to the season. So it's nice to kind of get out there and interact with kids and get back on the ice. So that's something we cherish.
And the camp is back for its 5th year, July 27th through the 30th for boys and girls in Squirt, 10U, Pee Wee, 12U, and Bantam, 15U. This year's registration looks a little different. Deposits will be made fully by mail. You can head to twinportsprodevelopmentcamp.com for more information and to sign up. We also have a link on our website. Head under the sports page with the full story. That's going to do it for sports tonight. We'll be right back after the break.
CBS3 closed captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health Virtual Video Visits, offering face-to-face interaction with your provider from the convenience of home or work.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join. I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture. It helped me get my job, helped me pay for my house. Being part-time really helped because I could have some opportunities that were still in education.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service.
Find the home of your dreams with Homes by Edmunds. Whether you're buying or selling, trust Duluth's oldest real estate company, Homes by Edmunds, LLP. Sunday mornings at 10:30 on CBS3.
The Culligan high-efficiency water softener is the world's best. It's backed by the industry's strongest warranty and serviced by the world's largest local dealer network. Click or call Culligan Water and start saving today.
Shopping for a new kitchen at Skips has never been better. Take home your dream kitchen today with Skips Fruitwood Oak Cabinets in painted or dark shaker styles. You can rely on Skips for quality and durability at affordable prices. Stop by with your measurements and see how you can take home beautifully painted or stained cabinets today at a truly affordable price. Visit us online at skipshomecenter.com or stop in to see our showroom at 4728 Rice Lake Road, Duluth.
When looking for a TV and internet provider, we know you have a choice. This is Jessica. She still has satellite TV.
Well, I get tons of HD.
Spectrum has tons of HD. And we get exclusive access to premium original content with Spectrum Originals.
I don't have that. Plus, sometimes in the rain, our services go out.
Because of the dish on your roof?
Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-916-4499.
And Spectrum Internet starts at 100 megabits with no data caps and a free modem.
We have to get internet from another company, and it isn't nearly as fast.
Spectrum Internet, $44.99 a month.
I'd switch, but I'm stuck in a contract and would have to pay up to $480 to cancel.
Spectrum has no contracts, and they'll pay up to $500 to help you out of yours.
That's it. I'm switching to Spectrum.
Get Spectrum TV and internet from $44.99 a month each. Call 833-916-4499.
Hi, I'm Dr. Charity Reynolds. I would like to remind you that COVID-19 is still around. Remember to wash your hands, wear your mask, and stay home as much as possible. Thank you.
Before we go tonight, we're learning even more about the great unknown. Some of the oldest stars and galaxies might be even older than researchers had originally believed. European scientists used the Hubble Space Telescope to examine what's called the early universe. They studied the period from 500 million to 1 billion years after the Big Bang. During that time span, they found no evidence of primordial stars classified as population 3. That means those stars formed even further back in time than we originally thought, although it's unclear exactly when. All right, Dave, you might have a little bit of trouble seeing the stars over the next couple days as some storms roll in, huh?
Yeah, clouds should start to thicken as we go through tomorrow. Some towns tasted a little rain this morning. That was just a precursor to the bigger shot that's coming tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, through Wednesday and spilling into Thursday morning. Could turn into a soaking rain with 1 to 2 inches of rain possible over that period in Minnesota, maybe even 2 to 3 in Wisconsin and the UP. Then temperatures go down from highs in the 90s today. By Thursday, Friday will only be in the 60s, but at least for the weekend, it'll be sunny in the 60s.
Thanks, Dave. That's the news for now. Have a great Monday. Thanks for watching.